Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today I am continuing my series on counting down my 100 favorite movies of all time. This time I'm going through number 65 through number 61 on my list. So here we got some good action movies and a couple of kind of more musical type movies. So a lot to cover here. So let's check it out here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well here on a Wednesday afternoon. Come to you again to bring you some more movies, ranking my favorite movies of all time. We're in the 60s period. So still got tons of movies to talk about. So many great movies. So many great movies that don't even make my list. It's kind of crazy to come up with these movies. And these movies are just my personal favorites that I love to watch over and over again, basically. And I want to say thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday. Last Monday was my 41st birthday, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm 41 already. Doesn't seem that long ago. I was just 18. Now I'm 41. What happened? But yeah, thank you a lot to my friends that joined me on my live stream. That was a blast. That was kind of my big thing for my birthday, is doing that live stream. Besides that, I just kind of hung out at home, got some cake and ice cream, ate that. It was good to hang out with some friends and just have a chill day. Anyway, bringing you to some movies. Let's get to my first movie here at number 65, and that is Gladiator. And this is a copy given to me by my friend Mike from Did You See That? So this was his copy, and he's never seen the movie, and he had a copy of it, which is weird. But now I got his copy, so he can't even watch his copy anymore because he gave it to me. It was very nice to do that. I really appreciate it. And as you can see, it's a UK version, yet still works on my Blu-ray, luckily. But anyways, I remember this coming out in 2000. I was in high school. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it afterwards. I remember going to a friend's house and let's watch Gladiator. And I remember Gladiator was like a huge hit movie. And in fact, it won the Oscar for Best Picture, Best Actor for Russell Crowe. Really was definitely was like a star-making vehicle for Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was already kind of fairly known. He wasn't a big star yet, but I feel like this movie made him a big star. I feel like for at least the next decade, felt like he was getting a lot of great roles, and he was, to me, one of the best actors of the 2000s. He was putting in a lot of good roles here, including this where he won Best Actor. Also, Joaquin Phoenix being nominated. Joaquin Phoenix, this was to me a star-making role for Joaquin Phoenix, because I came away going, who's that guy playing the villain? He was one of the best villains I've ever seen. And Joaquin Phoenix has gone on to have this incredible career, even better career than Russell Crowe, and would eventually win an Oscar himself. I remember seeing this at a friend's house and just being blown away by it, being like, wow, I love the visuals of it. The whole cinematography I thought was really great. The story was, I thought, really intriguing. A guy who's a general who goes against the emperor and then gets kind of made a slave and be put as a gladiator, fighting the gladiator, arenas, and kind of becoming famous as a gladiator and trying to get revenge. I love revenge stories, so I love the whole revenge plot, him trying to get revenge on the emperor. Emperor is just so evil, so that is, conniving, character by Joaquin Phoenix is so good. His moments are, oh my gosh, so good. And the action's really good. I love the fight scenes. At the time, I didn't watch a lot of rated R movies, so it was definitely very shocking. The decapitations, the cutting off arm limbs, like that. Definitely was kind of shocking to me at the time. But I don't know, I just loved the story. I thought it was visually really cool. Thought it was a really good ending to it. not to give it away, but yeah, I just loved the ending. I thought it was actually really excellent how they ended it. And like I said, the gladiator scenes are really well done. Really like Russell Crowe as well, because he's buff. He's like super buff, but is a really good actor. So he's perfect for this role. Kind of a one-of-kind role for him. Anyways, but yeah, it's just a fun action flick. Good storytelling. Anyways, Gladiator. So that makes my number 65. Number 64, one of my favorite MCU movies make it here. That's Captain America Winter Soldier. Yeah, this was, to me, like almost another game changer in the MCU and in superhero movies, in a sense, what they did with the storyline. And it really, to me, made Steve Rogers, Captain America, one of my favorite. This really catapulted him, probably my second favorite behind Iron Man, as far as the MCU superheroes go. This was such a good movie for him. And so much stuff happened. Story-wise, it was really great. Love the team up of Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson is great as Black Widow. And of course, Samuel Jackson. Also, one of the best villains, the Winter Soldier himself, who's not he's like a semi-villain, I guess, kind of a semi-henchman villain, the Winter Soldier. Really cool villain. Just looks really cool, like the metal arm, the long hair, the jacket, just how he pulls up his gun. I don't know. It's just a really cool character. But yeah, I've never seen it in a theater and just being like, wow, like this comes after, Avengers was such a groundbreaking movie, of course, and I had that on the list already. And I thought this was even better than Avengers when this came out. It's one of the best action movies, actually, as well. The action scenes are done really incredible. And this is the first movie that the Russo brothers got together, because they didn't direct the first Captain America movie, New Avenger, which is actually one of my least favorite MCU movies. I thought that was a really boring movie. So when they made a second one, I wasn't like okay, hopefully they can make it better than the first movie. And boy, did they. I mean, the Russo brothers just knocked it out of the park. And then the Russo brothers would go on to make my favorite MCU movies and some of my favorite action movies. So really great job getting the Russo brothers to kind of take over. Basically, Russo brothers kind of took over the last part of the MCU, all the way to Endgame anyways. They were really kind of the masterminds behind that. Some of the most popular movies ever made, and big box office movies. Yeah, I saw this twice in the theater. That's how much I liked it. I saw it the first time and I was like, wow, everything, like I said, the best scene to me is the Captain America fighting Winter Soldier in the highway, and just their hand-to-hand combat. Oh, and you got the shield and the middle arm also in there, and Winter Soldier takes out a knife and he's flipping the knife around and catching it, and he's fighting with that. The hand-to-hand combat was really, the choreography was it jumped a notch. I hadn't seen this good choreography in the MCU up to this point, to this movie. And then a lot of the movies after this had really great choreography as well. But I thought this was one of the first movies wow, they really jumped it up, the hand-to-hand fighting and all that. Even the first scene where he gets on that boat and then he has to fight that French guy, I thought that was a great scene. That was the first scene in the movie. I'm like, wow, the action was really good. And then it got better with that one. Then the last action sequence is definitely more emotional. There's a lot of emotional ties to it, but also was an incredible action scene. So there's at least three action scenes I thought were incredible. And then the whole story behind Hydra, how Hydra got into S.H.I.E.L.D. and kind of took over S.H.I.E.L.D. That was a really shocker, and really changed the rest of the MCU, because then we couldn't trust S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, which S.H.I.E.L.D. was the organization that was running everything. And all of a sudden it's whoa, we can't even trust S.H.I.E.L.D. now. So there's a good spy, it's a good action movie. It's a good spy thriller. Yeah, this was, to me, I was really blown away. Really great superhero action movie, in my opinion. Captain America Winter Soldier here at number 64. Number 63, one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen. And you think it'd be higher, but as far as action sequences, man, this was amazing. This is The Raid 2. Yeah, this is the sequel to, I still have the first one, Raid. There's more to that one. But anyways, Gareth Evans, who directs this movie, and the main character here, I never can remember how Iko Uwais, I think his name, how you pronounce it. He kind of stars in these movies. He did 3, this is the third movie they've done together, actually. And they're all three really good kung fu action movies. I say not it's not kung fu, but I'm saying martial arts action because this is Singapore. They're from like Singapore, so it's got the Singapore style to it. That's really cool. Um, but yeah, this was just one epic action movie with some great martial arts style. I mean, some of the best martial arts scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Some of the greatest choreography, some of the best camera movements I've seen in a scene. I mean, it's amazing. It's the only thing I'd say it's fairly long. I wish it was a little shorter. And there's so much going on. I mean, story wise, it's one of the best stories I've seen because usually in like martial arts movies, it's like yeah, the martial arts is really good, but the story is not that great. This is one where like the story is actually really quite good and a lot of intriguing stuff happens. Like I said, it takes off right after the first movie, where this guy's an undercover cop basically, and he kind of infiltrates this mob through the first he's in prison with this other guy who's like the son of a mafia guy that he's trying to get in with. So he becomes friends with him, and then after he gets out of prison, he then gets in with the mob, and so he's working very undercover with this mob as they do horrible stuff and just so he can get information, and he's not enjoying it. He really doesn't want to do it, but he's kind of forced to do it by the, whatever the FBI of the Singapore or whatever that is, or the police are making him kind of do it. Uh, Anyways, and it's just, yeah, this whole story of that. And then you got the son of the mob boss guy who wants to overtake his dad as the mob boss. So you get that storyline there. And then you got this guy who, I don't know if he has a name in this one. He was in the first movie, but he played a different character, Mad Dog, which was like the best character of the first movie. So he comes back in the second movie playing a different character. And he has his own storyline that kind of interconnects with it. And then this guy also is trying to take over the mob. And so there's just lots of storyline going on here. I'm pointing out characters on this on here. Then you got these two, brother and sisters, Bat Boy. Let's see, Bat Boy and Hammer Girl. That's their names, Bat Boy and Hammer Girl. Brother and sister duo. Oh my gosh, like they come in like halfway through the movie and they just kill a bunch of people and show like, oh, these guys are really mean something. Like I love the storytelling is so good here because you have these two random characters come in. They kind of are henchmen of this guy, anyways. And they're by themselves are very dangerous, and we see them kill a lot of people just to show like how dangerous they are. And we also got this guy who's just called the Assassin, who has these cool curved knives. We also see him kill some people. So we got three, and here the three are in the back here. These are like your three main henchmen of the movie. All three are really dangerous on their own. And so the story goes, and what makes this movie so great is, and there's some good, like the prison, there's a really cool action sequence in the mud that's really amazingly shot. Like the way it's shot is just amazing. Like this guy, he hasn't made a movie in a long time. Since this movie, he hasn't made another one, Gareth Evans, and he hasn't made one with Iko Voss. I wish there was a Raid 3. Like, why don't we get a Raid 3? Like, keep making these movies. They're amazing. But yeah, so there's that, and there's like some pretty good action sequences in the middle. But then the real kicker is at the very end. He decides to go take out this mob boss guy, and so he goes to his hideout basically to take him out, and he starts with him taking out he's just taking guys out one at a time. Boom, 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 boom. It's just like just a room full of people. He's just taking them out. He's so good. Action is like really good, and you're like, wow, this is some good action. And then he gets down. I'm just gonna explain some parts of the movie. They're so good. But he goes down this corridor, and all of a sudden at the end of the corridor are these two, Bat Boy and Hammer Girl. So he has to fight both of them at the same time, and they're both dangerous by themselves. And I remember watching going, oh my gosh, he's got to fight both of them at the same time in this short corridor. And it's an awesome action scene where like, oh my gosh, it's one of the best action scenes. And then he kills both of them, spoiler alert, and then he walks in the next door and they're in the kitchen, and in the kitchen comes Assassin, this guy. So after he just kills these two really difficult henchmen, he then has to kill another most dangerous henchman in the movie. And it is the best, in my opinion, probably the best fight scene ever put on film. These two guys fight in the kitchen. And it starts off, them just kind of trading blows, and it's very kind of slow. And as the fight goes on, it gets a little faster, and the music gets louder. Like the music's very soft at first, but then it gets louder. The camera just doesn't. And what's so great is like these people really know how to fight, so the camera doesn't have to cut. There's no edits, there's no cut, there's no stuntmen. You're watching two just incredible, action fighters fighting against each other and really doing all the moves themselves. The actors are doing the moves and the choreography and everything. And we see the camera start moving around them a little bit more as it goes. The fight gets more intense, and like he brings out the knives, and all of a sudden he's cutting him. And what I love is you got this really clean kitchen. All of a sudden you got blood everywhere because they're cutting each other, and so there's just blood splatters, which is such a great visual, yeah, and just the fight just gets more intense, faster, louder. Oh my gosh, until the end where it gets to like they're just about ready to kill each other. I mean, it is an incredible fight scene. It just blew me away. The fact that we had two back-to-back incredible fight scenes right in a row, and the fact that they established how good these fighters are beforehand, perfect. I mean, it was just like I've never seen an action movie done better, and our martial arts action done better, where they show you, okay, these people are really dangerous. Now we're going to watch all three of them fight, and he's going to kill all three of them. And it's like, oh my gosh, incredible. But yeah, I can't say enough. If you like action movies, watch Raid 2. It will blow you away. All right, get away from some action. Let's get to some more musical movies. I do love musicals, style movies anyways. And so at number 62, we got the movie Once. Back in, I think, 2007, around there it came out. Yeah, it's kind of an indie movie, kind of a modern, they call it kind of a modern musical, basically, in a sense, because there are a lot of musical numbers. Though it's not like a musical necessarily, because it's just they're two musicians in real life and in the movie, and they just play some of their songs that they've written in the movie anyways. So they're playing musicians, so they're just playing music. So it's not like they're just breaking out in song, like in, Sound of Music or something. But man, what a cool movie. The writer-director, John Carney, he's friends with Glenn Hanser. They were in a band together. He's from Ireland, and the director's from Ireland. I think called The Frames is the name of their band. Anyways, never acted in a movie before. And John Carney wrote this movie for him to star in, because he's playing a busker guy who's singing, on the corner in Ireland. They're in Ireland. He's singing on the corner with his guitar, and people are giving money, and he's a really incredible musician and singer, songwriter. And then he meets this girl, Markéta Oglova. Again, she's from the Czech Republic. She's a really good piano player and singer, and a songwriter too. And so it's somewhat kind of like a love story between them two. They meet in Ireland, and she really likes his music, and she's like really encouraging him to, try to, get a record deal or something, and he's not sure. And so it's kind of about that, about him kind of getting the confidence to go try to get a record deal, and all that anyways. And they kind of form this strong, it's not exactly a love story, but they definitely form like a really strong friendship, together anyways. That's really kind of beautiful, I think. And I think for two individuals that aren't actors, they do a really good job. Like I said, it's a very independent movie. Like you can tell it's not very expensively made. The cinematography is not particularly that good because it's just cheap, but the story is really good. I really love the story, and the two characters are really likable. And the music is just phenomenal. I think that's what really puts it over for me. Why I love watching this movie over and over again is it's the best music soundtrack I've ever heard in my life. And it's these two that write all the songs, mainly him, I think, but them two together anyways. And they sing the songs together that are in the movie. And it's just my style. It's more of a folk style, folk rock style, which is a style I absolutely love. But yeah, of course, the Falling Slowly is an incredible scene where they go into a music shop, and she's playing the piano, and she's like, "Hey, sing me one of your songs." And so he takes out his guitar and he teaches her the chords or whatever on the piano, or like teaches her like all that. And so then they start playing it together, and he starts singing Falling Slowly, and then they start singing together. And it is one of the best songs ever. Like, it's probably my favorite song from a movie ever made. And it won the Oscar for Best Song. That's how good it was. To me, it's kind of this little known movie. I saw it in the movie theater because I remember hearing about it, and I was like, huh. And I remember I heard the song Falling Slowly, and I thought, wow, I love that song. I'm intrigued. So I didn't know anything about these two. or the movie and went and saw it and was like, wow, this music was so good. I love these two individuals, which I've talked about them before because I love their music. I've talked about some of their stuff. I've got like the Strict Joy. Their second album that they did was number 11, I think, on my top 100 favorite albums list. Love that. Also got some of their individual albums. I even got the one soundtrack, actually, if I can find it. I forgot to get it out beforehand. Let's see. Here it is, sorry. Once. So I got the soundtrack on CD as well. Incredible soundtrack. Probably my favorite soundtrack to a movie ever. Like I said, Falling Slowly, If You Want Me. This is a decent Marquetta Glover song. When Your Mind's Made Up is a decent song that's played quite a bit, kind of their main song. Lies is amazing, Glenn Hanser song. Gold is not a song it's a song from an Irish band called Interference, and is one of my favorite songs in the album. I mean, in the soundtrack, and it's not even them. It's incredible. Leave is absolutely amazing from Glenn Hansard. Glenn Hansard has this amazing ability to, he seems kind of soft, and then he can almost scream. He'll like, the song will crescendo, and then at the end he'll just start kind of almost screaming, and very passionate, but still amazing. Like, not screaming in a bad way, screaming in a really good way, where like, wow, that was incredibly, passionate and emotional, and man, really makes the song even better. Like, wow, that's amazing vocals. Like, he's one of my favorite singers now, Glenn Hansard. The title song, Once, is actually pretty good. Play at the very end of the movie. And then Say It To Me Now, which is like the first song of the movie, is like right away that hooks you in when he starts singing that. Again, it's the same, like I said, where it's very soft. It's like a really cool folk song. And at the very end, he just picks up and he starts yelling, and you're like, holy cow. And the camera's like way back, and it's like just zooming in on him as he's, I love that first shot of the camera just zooming in on him just by himself singing the song. It's amazing. Can't say enough about it. Great musical. All right, so last movie, number 61, is another movie with a lot of great music in it. It's a comedy, and it's A Mighty Wind, which is the same group that did Best in Show, which was the movie I talked about on the last one. It's kind of like the third movie, because their first movie was Waiting for Guffman, which is a decent movie as well. It's not one of my favorite. The Best in Show was just one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And then this was the third movie they did together, which was kind of the same cast basically as those two. You got Christopher Guest directing the movie, and Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy wrote the screenplay, and they also star in the movie. So it's really cool. And it's got just an incredible cast of characters. Again, just like the Best in Show, we got John Michael Higgins, Eugene Levy, Jane Lynch, Michael McKean, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, Harry Shearer, and Fred Willard also. Oh my gosh, so good. I mean, again, Jane Lynch just really shines in these movies. This is before I really knew who she was, and then she really blew up after this period. It's a really good actress. John Michael Higgins, so good. He's like one of those guys that shows up in movies and TV shows, always hilarious. Parker Posey, she doesn't do that much. She's hilarious. And this is the best stuff she's ever done, was Best in Show in this movie, I think. And I love that we got the Spinal Tap. Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, who starred in Spinal Tap, and we got them here playing the Folksmen, or I think they're called. So it's so cool seeing them doing music, starring in the movie together, playing instead of an 80s hard rock band, playing a folk band. And then the stars to me are Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. Their story is so good here, and they're so funny. Eugene Levy just knocks it out of the park. Like, he is one of my favorite comedic actors playing this character. But yeah, it's a really cool story actually, and it's another mockumentary where it's shot like a documentary, but obviously it's not real. These aren't real characters, but I don't know. I love that they're playing them like they're real, and they are improvising, and somehow that brings the comedy out even more when they're just playing it real and just improvising stuff. It's so good, but it does have a really good story to it, which is that this record producer dies, and he founded a lot of these popular folk bands. And so they're basically the whole thing is they're bringing these folk bands together to do a memorial concert to this guy who died, and his three kids are like putting it on. And you got Bob Balaban in here who's hilarious as well. Jennifer Coolidge shows up; she's always great. Ed Begley Jr. is great as well. Don Lake, Michael Hitchcock, Larry Miller. I mean, there's so many good like not comedic actors you probably don't know that well, but they're absolutely hilarious in these movies. It's just an incredible cast. Like I said, but really get to the music because I love these. There's three different folk groups. There's the Folksmen Trio, whatever, the Folksmen, and then there's these two, which I don't know if I can't remember their names now, but they're great. They're kind of a married couple who sing together. Kind of these love songs. Mitch and Mickey, that's it. Mitch and Mickey, they have a great story. And then these three are part of the new Main Street Singers. So they're different. They're like folk singers with all three kind of different styles to them, which I like. And they all wrote the music. Like all this is new music that they wrote for the movie, which I think is incredible because the music is really good, like really generally good. Like, and it's written in a '60s folk style. So, and it does sound like, I mean, I don't have the soundtrack, but I really want to get the soundtrack because if you listen to the soundtrack of this movie, you would think it's just a real '60s folk soundtrack. I mean, you would have no idea if you didn't know the story that this was just made up songs of a made up movie. Because these sounds like, I mean, that's how good they are. I mean, the singing, the songwriting, the playing are really good. Like these could generally be hit songs. I mean, these came out in the '60s. These would be like big hit songs. That's how good it is. And that's what makes this. That's why I like this. Like I said, Best in Show might be funnier, but I think the music is so good here and the story is so good that I prefer this movie just slightly over Best in Show. Both though are like amazing movies. I would say get both of them and watch them back to back. Definitely be a great doubleheader. But I love is again these two have just a great story of when they were big in the '60s. They were like this. I don't know if they're married or just dating, but they were in love and they wrote these great love songs. And "Kiss at the End of the Rainbow" is the best song in the movie. It got nominated for an Oscar for best song. It was written by Michael McKean and his wife, who Michael McKean, of course, is in the movie too. So really cool that he wrote this great love song, and it works so well. And it's kind of one of the big songs of the movie that they play a couple times. But I love the song. It's a beautiful love song, and they play at the Oscars, which was really fun. Seeing Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara playing at the Oscars and singing the song, and they sound really good together. And it's this great song where at the end they say, "There's a kiss at the end of the rainbow," and then they kiss, which is such an awesome idea. I thought, like, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody ever think of that idea of singing a song about kissing and then kiss at the end? It just makes the song even more like beautiful, I guess. Anyway, so they wrote this big hit song, but then they had a breakup and he had a mental breakdown and he had to go to like a mental institution. And then now they're coming back together for the first time in a long time. So their story is really great because it's like they used to be in love, but now she's like married and he's kind of getting over he still has mental issues because of the breakup. And he hasn't written any music since then. And so they're getting together and it's like, oh, can he mentally handle getting back together with Mickey and singing these love songs he wrote for her? So that whole love story kind of thing, man, it's a great. And I can't give up too much, but the way they end it, phenomenal. Like it's my favorite part of the movie. And the last part of the movie is so good because they all get together and play their songs for this concert anyways. And like the Folksmen, they have a great song as well. Which I'm forgetting, right? But they have they're funny, a really funny song. And then the mainstream singers have great harmonies. They're more of the harmony group where they have a bunch of members and they sing great harmonies. And they have some funny songs as well. But yeah, I've been talking a lot about it, but man, I just love the combination of great comedy, great folk music. I love folk music. So I say, if you like folk music, this is a great comedy to watch. A Mighty Wind. Here at number 61 on my list. So those are 5 more movies, 65, 61 on my top 100 favorite movies list. Feel free to comment. What do you think? Have you seen these movies? Which ones are your favorite? All that. I really liked reading your comments. And Thank you for that, and just thank you for watching the video. Thank you for liking it, and thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate all of you.